It is time for Home Manager. It's a NixOS stream today. We're going to be doing a little bit of Home Manager, some just kind of messing around. A few things about Nix I've noticed as I've spent some more time here is just simply there's a few oddball deals about home configuration not probably getting in, like I'm thinking Git credentials and some like bash RC type things. It's able to pull some of it in, but it just works a little differently than your traditional Linux distro. So today we're really exploring NixOS Home Manager and kind of seeing everything we have going on. So it should be fun. How's it going, Haven? Lovro? Oh man, it should be a fun little exploratory stream. Let me get the music going here. Get that nice background music. There we go. And we'll see how it goes. A little bit of brain fog going on today. So this is going to be probably a bit of a hot mess stream, but that's okay. It's okay to put those up every once in a while. What's your main system? You're looking at it. This is it, Mr. This is the main system. So, yeah, that's kind of what I got going on. I'm trying to think of everything else. I did install Florp. I got all my credentials. Last time when we left off on Nix, I think I still had to load up a lot of login and, stuff that, I don't want to publicize. So I got all that going with Nix, and I was just kind of using a little bit more than my last adventure in Nix. And there hasn't been that much stuff that I'm like, oh crap, this doesn't work. So it's been interesting. It's been very interesting. Yeah, I'm not using Flakes at all yet. I'm still just modifying a lot of the system config. I really like, honestly, the Nix base config, and then just having everything configured in the etc NixOS Configuration.nix. That is really cool. I love having everything just in one file, so it's very easy to replicate. Having said that, we're going to add some modules today. Specifically going over Git credentials, because that drove me crazy. I released a video on the main channel today blocking YouTube shorts, and I wrote that article twice in christitus.com. Once here, and then, yeah, it just went. I did a git sync, and then the credentials failed, and then I did a force, and then it ended up overwriting my local changes. Long story short, old Nix here kind of screwed me over on the Git credentials, and yeah, we got to work through that, because that is something I think Home Manager will solve, and using the GH Git Nix module, I think will also solve it. I don't know what that looks like, and I don't know how to do it. You drinking Pepsi? No. Sugary drinks are the devil. I am drinking water from the mountains of Egypt. All right, here we go. I'm learning JavaScript in school. Do you have any specific guides, tutorials you'd recommend? No. When it comes to learning code, when it comes to learning anything, the best thing you can do is just find a project or something that interests you, that relies on the thing that you need to learn, and then go do it. Don't go spend a bunch of money getting a how-to guide and gamifying the whole thing. Screw all that, guys. You don't need any of that. Everything's on YouTube and it's free. So you don't need to go get your Skillshare course and do that. That's just a big waste of money. So really what you need is just a project that utilizes the thing you want to learn. And then once you get that, you just go do it. And then once you get the experience doing it, you actually retain the knowledge. So you can do a lot of the coding courses to understand like maybe the basics of top-down language, but once you understand variables, hey, you're going to have to pull in a library, whether that's a header or whatever language it is, it's always kind of the same, but once you understand one language, it's very easy to tack on more languages and learn at a rapid rate, as long as you don't get stuck in the courses. Yeah, I don't believe in courses. I think courses and traditional education, there's a time and place for it, but once you've done it once and you've gone through one course or one classroom and you understand the basics of any language, really, they all kind of fundamentally work the same, or most do, and in like a top-down format, and understanding just variables and other things, you're just wasting your time going with more courses. You're not going to learn much, in my opinion. I feel like you just got to go do it. You got to go do the thing. You got to get the experience. You got to get the reps. And that's where greatness happens. That's where you become vital and you learn a lot. And that's honestly, you'd apply that to a lot more things than just programming. You know, experience is always the best thing. And getting experience is hard, especially starting out. That's the difficult part. And these days, I just get experience. I just wake up, I turn on the live stream, and I'm like, let's go do this. And I end up learning a lot. I may make a fool of myself several times during that, but as long as you're okay failing, that's the big thing. Getting comfortable with failure and then learning from your failures and then mastering whatever it is you're trying is the best thing you can do. Can you just stick on one distro? Sure. You can do that. It's just boring. People don't follow me to just watch me mess around in Debian. Honestly, I would probably just stick with like a Debian SID with probably DWM. It would look exactly the same as this. It doesn't really matter on the distro. I just kind of mess around a little bit just to try new things. But yeah, if I wasn't doing YouTube, probably that's what it would look like. 5-minute clip. Yeah, sometimes it's funny, like Lover, I finished a stream out the other day, and I think it was like the last stream or one of the last streams, and I was like, man, I don't think I have any clips. And then as I started to edit it all, I was like, oh crap, I ended up having a nine clips from that one stream, and I was like, that worked great. All right, well, let's jump into Home Manager. I think I've started to let's just go over to web and we'll do a get pull. I have some stuff here with Home Manager. I started out with like an article and some other few other things. And if we look at Home Manager, yeah, we got these guys. I kind of wanted to, can I open that? I forget. Does that work? Shift click. Okay. So let's open these two things up. I got a couple different ones. I've started making a little bit of a manual to kind of go, okay, where do I start with Home Manager? First, we kind of know the base of this. Let's ask ChatGPT, what is Home Manager for NixOS? Oh, 1 second. Let's go log in real fast. Oh, that's new. Check if I'm human. Okay. ChatGPT is doing something new here. Huh. Check this out. Look at this. I think, well, I'm using Florp right now for this browser. It's an anti-privacy thing, and I think ChatGPT is trying to grab a bunch of credentials, not credentials, but just chat history, and it doesn't like the fact it's getting denied, and it keeps just spitting me back to here. Interesting. I think OpenAI is becoming less reputable by the day. I feel like they're doing a lot more shenanigans behind the scenes than we know about. And I think they're turning into the most evil corporation on Earth. Even more so than probably Facebook. Facebook probably has that crown right now. But interesting. Shenanigans are afoot there. I even have uBlock off. So definitely something going on there. I can't even pull up ChatGPT in Florp. All right, let's get into Home Manager here. Enough chit chat. I feel like we need to jump into actually setting up Home Manager. Oh my gosh. Let me mute my phone. Let's so I don't get interrupted here. All right, we'll see if I ever take it off of mute. So this is the module. Now you can put it here and install it as a user, but I want to say you can also install it as a direct module and add it to, like, let's just take this and go over to etc NixOS, and you have the Nix modules over here. And I want to say you could probably just import this into the global configuration like this. And if you look, here's the import section under Nix settings. And I wanted to explore this a little bit more and also expand the user settings in Nix so you don't always have to use sudo for certain things. I'm trying to look. So here's this package, usage on non-OS, managing dot files. This is where I kind of like the Git. Now, I don't use traditional Git for authenticating with the username and password. Obviously, with some of my repos having tens of thousands of stars, it's just I have a huge following on GitHub, and I'm very protective of my credentials. Therefore, I don't use traditional username and password. And the two-factor obviously uses like SSH keys and other things with it. So usually I'm using GH for my credentials in a traditional Linux environment. GH does not transfer. So I was looking at doing a GH module and putting that in. So I guess we could add Home Manager in here, but I don't know. So you could do this type of thing with the imports. You do the channel add, and then under imports, you would do the Home Manager NixOS. Yeah, I mean, SSH keys can be a way of doing it. The one thing I don't like about this, managing SSH keys with like an SSH agent is kind of a mess. And that's how a lot of people have gotten around it in Nix, which I'm not going to do that method. I just don't like it. It's too hacky, in my opinion. So, looking at this, I'm still kind of like, I don't know. So here's a home.nix. What does this look like? Let's look at another example. This is his configuration. What is he doing? See, he's doing user-based packages over here. Maybe I could do a Home Manager with the GH, which is GitHub CLI. Baked in, possibly? Maybe. I don't know. And then he's using a GPG agent here. Anything else I see? Ugh, Dropbox. People still use Dropbox? Gross. I remember using Dropbox years and years ago. But then I grew a brain. All right. I'm kidding. There's a lot of people probably still using Dropbox out there. I'm sorry that you're using Dropbox. All right. I don't know. He's using Fish Terminal. Okay. That's an option. Eesh. Fish. One of the 3 fish users out in the world. And Emacs. Fish with Emacs. Okay. Such an odd config. And there, yeah. Okay. Very, very interesting. I would say I could use something from that config, but I'd be lying. All right, let's see. What else we got for a config? Pretty much my entire system config. What's his look like? Anything good? You know, I don't use SourceHut very much. Can we just look at the browse? And where's his Nix? There's Linux. There's his packages. What's he doing? He's doing his package installs, kind of like how I do them. I like his X resources here. That's kind of cool. As far as services go, that's interesting. He's using a polybar. Never really liked polybar that much though. Huh. This is interesting how he's doing this right here. He has his polybar script right here. He has his Dunst service right here. Redshift service, random background, GPG agent. feel like we do need to add a GPG agent. Accession, okay. And programs. Interesting. Now, what am I gonna do here? I don't even know if I'm gonna be able to chop this up. I think I'm just gonna not even bother with clips on this video. I'm all over the place today. We'll see if I ever get there with Nix Home Manager. I think we just install this and call it. All right. Using Home Manager. I think we're on 23, so let's go ahead and just do this Nix channel. I like preparing the user environments directly from the system configuration file. That makes the most sense to me because it's more convenient than using the Home Manager tool. It opens up an additional configuration possibilities. Okay. Let's just grab the 23.11. That's currently what I'm using. I think so. Let's just verify that. Yeah, 23.11. Let's go. And then I think just an update command, right? Sudo next update. All right. We grabbed Home Manager with that. That's not too bad. So we have a Home Manager installed. That's pretty easy. And then we just, under the imports, we're just going to grab Home Manager right here. And then we do a switch rebuild to your system configuration, which will introduce a new Nix option called Home Manager.users. Whose attribute is set and maps usernames to Home Manager configurations. For example, all right, I don't want to do packages through here. I want to say there's a package in Home Manager so we could just use our system ones. All right, programs bash enabled true. Huh. All right, let's do the import. And we'll grab configuration, and imports are right here. Yeah, whatever. That looks wrong to me, but let's see. Let's just go sudo right. Rich, thanks for the tier 1. All right, let's try to switch rebuild and see what happens here. We'll just go sudo Nix. What is it? Rebuild or Nix? Oh man, I thought it was just like Nix build switch. I don't know why I'm having such a oh, let's see. Oh, there we go. Yeah, NixOS rebuild. Oh, it's NixOS rebuild. That's what my problem was. Thank you. It's having a brain fart here. Can't be on every day, I suppose. Let's see what it's grabbing. It looks fine. Not much changing there. So it looks like Home Manager's installed now. And then we just add the Nix file here, I guess. Now try using the Home Manager command, see what's available. All right, let's see what the Home Manager command. I don't think... What is the Home Manager command? Home-Manager, user service. Probably need a reboot, huh? Yeah, nothing's there. Probably need to add a configuration too. So in our configuration.nix, we need to add an attribute, something like this. I don't know what is a normal user. The user.users. Do we have anything in user.users? Let's take a look. So we have display manager user for the auto login. User.users here is normal user true. Descriptions adds all these extra groups. What else does it want in user.users? And this is where you do home manager.users. So this is something we would add to it, but I don't want to add packages. Let's see. Home Manager, use user packages. I like the use global packages command. Let's try that. The thing I'm not sure of is the Home Manager users like .titus. and then like setting like the state version for home, and then like programs.bash. I really want like the GH working properly. So in this regard, let's just go home manager.user global packages true. Feel like that's good. Let's do a write out for that. What else do we have to add? So maybe adding this section is something we need to look at. Let's see if there's anything else here before we do a reboot. So with global packages, Home Manager will pass OS configuration as a module argument as any modules you create. This contains the system NixOS configuration. Then we have the Nix Darwin module. Prefers user environments directly with the Nix Darwin configuration file. Don't think this is needed. To make the module blah blah blah, the most convenient way. It's just not well stated here. So your use of Home Manager is centered around a configuration file. It's typically found in your home folder.config/home manager, home.nix, in the standard installation, or you can do it as a flake. Okay. The configuration file can be built and activated. Building configuration produces a directory in the Nix store. Blah, 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 blah. If your configuration, like program.emacs or bash or whatever you got, then building it, for example, using Home Manager build, the result will say an error. That should be true, probably, I guess. Here's the base configuration we can do. Packages, we're going to use the system packages. Programs. And GPG agent. That's actually probably not a bad idea to do right there. I don't know. Okay, Nix Darwin's for non-Nix systems, not relevant. Okay, can restart. We might need to add that. Let's just look at, I kind of want to add just another home manager here. Let's look at this. I really like this configuration, and I feel like that is needed, but this looks like a home.nix configuration. Let's start. So this is where this file should be, and it should contain something like this. Let's just we'll write that out. And you said just restart the shell. Is Home Manager here? Yeah, Home Manager folder is not there. Maybe let's just do a rebuild, I suppose. NixOS rebuild switch. And then we'll just do a reboot, I guess, after this. Wonder what we have. Trolltech.com. Oh, that's weird. All right. Just to make sure, do we have Home Manager at all in here? You would see it right in here. We do not. We'll reboot. Yeah, we did a Nix channel update after adding the Home Manager module. We also did an import and then did a rebuild switch afterwards. So let's see if we get anything. We'll just go to .conf. We'll just see Home Manager. Still no Home Manager. Huh. And if we look at our configuration, the main things we did here is under the imports. You can see Home Manager-NixOS right here under the imports. Have to initialize it. Oh, okay. I don't know if I even logged into Discord on this computer yet. Although I might have it. Actually, I think I have it up here. I'll just pull that up. Maybe a summary of why we need Home Manager. I feel like that's mainly to reference local configuration files is why you use Home Manager. Something in that regard. But again, I don't know. Here's what we were using for that. User, normal user, extra groups. Home Manager, use global packages. Now we have to initialize Home Manager. Let's open up our browser. I see. Okay. So if we look, it should be something in here. Yeah, whatever. Home Manager .users.titus packages, Home Manager packages. I do want to expand this out a little bit as well for the initialization. I kind of figured that was the case. So there's the username home directory, which not really needing for that. State Home Manager enabled, true. Home.packages. Just looking through here for the initialization. Home.packages. Just a few things here. I kind of want to add this services.gpg agent, see what that does as well. Because I am having authentication issues right now. Home.username and home.home directory. I don't know if those are needed either. We'll see. Yeah, okay. That's what I mainly use, is just configuration.nix like this. It makes the most sense to me. So getting a GPG agent right here would be good. Having GH, one problem I'm having right now is anytime I try to do like a git push, it's gonna fail. Even though I'm currently I've already authenticated it through GHCLI. In every other Linux distribution, you could then just do a git push from any repo and it would work, but it keeps wanting a username and password, which obviously I don't enable password, username, password authentication through my GitHub. Everything's done through keys. So that's one issue I'm having. Yeah. All right. Make sure you indent that block. I think we're good. Let's see what we get. Let's just write this out. We'll just write that guy out. And we'll try our rebuild. See what this looks like. NixOS, rebuild, switch. Check that directory. Okay. Currently running into an issue. What were we having? Values. Home Manager, users.titus.home, state version is used, but not defined. Really? Thought we did. Did I define it? No, I didn't define it. But we can easily do that. Let's just go over here. Home state version right here. I feel like we should probably just add the username and home directory as well. Although I don't know if we need to. Let's see what happens if we don't. We'll go home.state. Did I save it? I don't think I saved that. Yeah, I didn't save it. My bad. Used to my autosave. Indention is going to get you here. Okay. We'll check our config nix packages. Okay. Let's do our rebuild again. I think that should get the switch to work. Moving. Thanks for the prime. Oh, a little PCI pass-through. Yeah, I'll eventually cycle back around to that. All right, we're doing. I see the GPG agent and home Titus. A few other things starting to pop in there. That was a lot of stuff for that configuration. So now if we do a ls, we still don't have Home Manager here, but someone in chat said go to Nix, and there's nix.conf. And what was the other one? Nix packages. And there's configuration.nix. So under Nix compact, we do have config. What's in here? Allow unfree equals true. Okay, well that's pretty basic file. Huh. How easy is Windows single GPU pass-through? Okay, one, single GPU pass-through is hard on any system. On NixOS, it's going to be worse. That's going to be a lot worse, bro. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. You must have infinite amount of time to mess around with that. Single GPU pass-through is frankly just not recommended. Just dual boot. That's my thought processes on that. Because the whole point of the PCI pass-through, like, is so you can easily switch between your systems. But if you're single GPU pass-through, you're deactivating your GPU in your home system, pushing it to the VM system. So then you can't go back to your home system without first shutting down the VM system. Again, overly complex with worse results than if you just dual boot, where dual boot's just so much easier. Now, if you have dual GPUs, that's where I kind of go, okay, I can kind of sign on for that. It's very complex still, but I enjoyed when I did passing through a GPU. It's a little wasteful, probably. You spend a lot more in electricity and have two GPUs, which is obviously not cost efficient, where you could just dual boot again. But I did like dual booting. And when I had two GPUs, I would. Yeah, yeah. I did a PCI pass-through series, and honestly, if you're really interested in it, one, I don't bother. If you don't have two GPUs in your system, don't bother. If where I say that it makes sense is, let's say you have like a really nice Ryzen, newest version of Ryzen, maybe the 3D model, where you have a built-in GPU, and you only want to do more basic stuff in Linux, maybe not play games in Linux, and you want to push all your games to Windows, and you want to pass a GPU to do it. That makes sense, where you use the integrated graphics for Linux and then pass the GPU over into a Windows instance. Makes for a pretty good time for PCI pass-through. Hikari Knight has a PCI pass-through project written in Go that is very, very good. It takes a lot of the complexity out of it, and it's probably what I recommend. The 5700 XT, it's sitting in a drawer back there. I wanted the 7800. But I upgraded my power supply, but I don't have a big enough power supply for both sitting in my systems. Maybe in the future I'll upgrade again, but I don't know. To me, I'm more of a dual boot guy these days. I don't want to mess with the pass-through stuff. I did it. It worked pretty good, but when you do it and with Looking Glass, it's actually pretty nice. It was nice, but there's still times where I was just like, crap, I need to be on bare metal, and something would happen, and I was like, oh, geez, let me reboot into bare metal, and then it was a whole different configuration. I was like, Use 2 PSUs. I've actually used 3 PSUs with a certain thing when I was doing crypto mining. I think I had up to 13 GPUs on one system with three PSUs. Trying to avoid like ground loops and things of that nature was a freaking nightmare to figure out, I remember. But back in the day, you could make a good bit of money. I think it was like 2017, 2018, something like that when I was doing that. It was before the YouTube days. It made for great YouTube content. Let's say you use your GPU for your Linux host. Do you need to restart to switch to integrated graphics, or can you just do... You can't pass through integrated graphics. Let's get that out of the way. No. Because you can't isolate the IOMMU groups, and you can't pass... So you're either using your integrated graphics for Linux, or you're just not using them. You need to pass through a dedicated PCIe graphics card. I should have stipulated that, sorry, if I wasn't clear. Yeah. But, yeah. Again, PCI pass-through, a lot of complexity involved in it. I don't recommend it for most people. If you want to hack around with it, it's cool. It's fun, but not really worth doing most times. Most times I'm just like, dual boot, you're going to have a better time. But having said that, I did have that PCI pass-through with Looking Glass and with a 1 GPU setup and just using the integrated graphics for the Linux system. That's a pretty sweet setup, and it was fun. And it covered like 99% of my Windows stuff that I wanted to do, and I did that for about a year. All right. So we have a GPG agent going in the background. I wonder... Let's say I come back into my website, get push. It's still gonna, yeah, still gonna want that. All right, fine. What else? So for what it's looking for is USR bin GH. It's not finding GH, therefore it's redirecting. how do I fix Git so it references GH under under this? Huh. Suburbanite. That's kind of funny. You wanted to buy Bitcoin in 2012. Bro, it's... So here's the thing. Like, I'm trying to explain this to a friend of mine where, you know, I've done Bitcoin back in 2014, I think it was, or 2013. I remember having like all the little miners, the little ASCII stuff, or like the USB stuff. You threw a fan on them and you could mine Bitcoin back then with just these little USB keys, and you make like a little bit of money every day, you know, 20, 30 bucks or whatever it was. And then if you held on to the Bitcoin, man, you'd be a millionaire, right? Here's the thing, guys, that everyone misses. Everyone misses this about that, because like I said, I've been in it pretty much since day one. I mean, for the most part, definitely before the masses hit it. But let's say you put $20 in, or you buy a bunch of hardware for it. One, if it's ASCII hardware, it's going to go obsolete. It's just going to be trash fodder in like a year or two. But let's say you put $1,000 in, right? Where if you hold on to that $1,000 for 10 years, it's going to be worth $1 million. No joke. That's probably what it would have been if I still had the stuff from 2012. But you put $1,000 in, and then it makes $1,000. You have $2,000 now, right? Psychologically, you're going to see that $2,000 if you're not extremely well off and you care about money, which is most of us. You're going to go, I made $1,000. I'm taking that out because it's about to crash or go to nothing. That's what happens psychologically. So these Bitcoin millionaires you see on the news and those types of things, man, that's like a 0.00001%. The most of us from back in those days that did this, man, you just sell as you go. You get your 100 or 200% profit and you're like, I'm good. I'm cashing out. Make a little bit of money, but you're not going to retire on it. And that's the truth behind early Bitcoin people. I was honestly a really early Ethereum person too. I remember mining it, and I also remember buying it. I think I bought it at $16 or something, and I dumped a good bit onto it, and I had fun and made a little bit of money, a good bit of money, but not like life changing or anything. I think we went on an extra vacation that year. And that was about it. That's just it. How in the world am I gonna fix this? Oh yeah, Jim. Actually, somebody on my Discord is actually talking about modding out the day before so it can do an offline mod, which sounds cool. I think that's neat that people hack around with it. But if you're doing that, wasn't the game like garbage anyways? I don't know. I thought nobody liked the game. They said it was a scam. But I don't know. I never played it, so I can't really weigh in on it. Couldn't have been that good if the company went bankrupt right after they released it. I think that's a good point there, Sir Bitter Knight. The only chance I would have had to hold on to it is if I lose my recovery code and access to wallet and then randomly find it 10 years later. Couldn't have said it better myself. All these news stories are like, I'm scouring the landfill for this lost hard drive. That's what makes sense. But us normal people that aren't idiots and know how to actually hold on to data and have access to a crypto wallet, we're going to sell that stuff when it goes 200 or 300 or 400%. If it gets to 1,000%, that stuff is sold. There's no way. It's a nice daydream, but daydreaming's for people that play the lottery. Us normal folks, we just sell it. All right, let's see. Let's go. What about a GH.nix package? So here is this package. Home Manager programs GH.nix. And maybe Google this as well. Let's just take this line. And let's go over to Google. I wish I had ChatGPT here, but whatever. NixOS. And I wonder how in the world this could be. Maybe we could change the global credentialing helper or edit it. So you can do a config global edit, but how do you point to the GH binary? Because I think that's in like the -run folder. Where is GH? Let's see. Which GH? Yeah, it's in run current system SW bin. Yeah, we've already done an off login, Monk. It's just right here. When you do a get, it's referencing user bin GH when it's under here. It's one of the big problems that you run into with Nix is it not using system resources, USR bin. It uses this weird run current system SW bin folder instead. Yeah, I've already done the GH auth login, so that's not gonna work. All right, let's chat Areno. Yeah, sure. Do I need to log in again? Oh. All right, let's log in. Every once in a while it does this. All right. Let me get this. Log in. Copy that. And what happened? Oh, there it is. Paste login info. There we go. Let me make sure I don't have anything. Oh yeah, it's still up. Let's not put that on stream. All right. Now we're back. Monk put this here. D4, thanks for the tier 1. Okay. Running that for the first time after setting programs GH enables equal true in your Nix Home will crash the GL. Oh, here we go. Kind of feel like this should be in our config as well. Delete the YAML. Home Manager switch. It will translate that to a GitHub camel. So Home Manager needs to take over GH and it can't be global, it looks like. Following along with the workaround, you have to add packages getInTools.gh to home packages, not GH. Okay, since this GH is in top level packages, still an issue. Create an upstream issue. This has been fixed now. Then it'll probably say it's broken again. Now we just have to wait for it to reach Nix packages. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it is fine. I feel like doing this. So here's what I'm thinking for the solution for this. Let's go into Vim. We'll go and pull up our configuration, our global configuration. Let's go down to home. And under Titus, this is where I kind of want to add, like, yeah. Like programs GH enable equals true. And then for home packages, that's when we add the package that it wants, which should be fixed. It's not GH, but they said packages get tools.gh to home packages. So if we go copy here and come back into here under packages, we should just be able to type this in, right? Oops. Something like that. We could also try replacing the user lib gh with the run gh command in the .config/get-config. That's a good point too. So if we look at our system packages, GH is right here, but I feel like we should use Git and tools like that without this conflicting GH. So let's remove it, and we're just going to do a write All right. Ah. Oh, I should have needed to use it under home packages. Let's see. We'll see if this works. If it doesn't, I could have probably added that to something else. Home Manager Titus actually had an error. Failed to load. What happened there? Ah, okay. So the existing config.yaml file is there. Please move the file and try it again. So if we just do a remove, this is going to wipe out my config, but whatever. And then let's rebuild again. That makes me feel good about this change. All right, that one worked that time. Activating the configuration, setting it up, reloading user units for Titus. All right, so now we have gh auth login. Let me block this out so you guys can't see what I'm doing. I'm gonna authenticate. Yes, re-authenticate, HTTP web, copy my code in. We'll do that. Open that up, paste that guy in, continue. Authorize, two-factor it, verify with two-factor. Okay, now we got our device connected. And coming back into here. Perfect. I don't see anything on the screen, but it says it's configured now. So now let's go with git push, see what happens. All right, now we go. Now we're still running into the GH error. Let's look at what Albie said to look at for changing under. Let's go .config. Go git. Do I not have a git directory? I could look at gh. We have our config.yaml editing there. I just don't know if that's gonna have a conflicting deal. I just don't know if there's anything bad in here, so I'm gonna block that out. No, there's nothing bad there. Editor. What about hosts? Oh, there's an OAuth token there. Let's not open that up on stream. So how do we reference the GH to authenticate with Git? Because right now Git is still referencing this USR bin instead of doing the which GH, which is under .profile/bin GH now. It's a whole different directory now that it's managed by Home Manager. I feel like Home Manager's this thing made things even worse, made things more complex. I get why you do it, but in this instance, if you're not having multiple users on your system, I don't see the point in Home Manager. GH auth setup git. Did you enable git in Home Manager? I don't think I did. Let's look. Let's look at our configuration. Oops. Let's go. We'll go into our config. I don't know. I like the idea of just one file controlling an entire system. That's why I'm on Nix. That's why I'm not liking Home Manager, by the way. So we have GH enable. What if we do this? Enable Git and GH directly through Home Manager. Maybe that would fix it. I just don't think it's going to reference it properly. I think it's still going to try and reference GH in some weird format, right? Yeah, GH is magical. It's a lot better. So what ends up happening, like the solution from the NixOS forums and such, is to use like a SSH agent, which once you go into GH, you're not going to go back to an SSH agent and manually launching that service, and that's just a huge It's just inferior in every single way. I'd rather change distros than mess around with the SSH agent. You can do a link. Yeah, LN, symbolic link it to user bin. Oh, that's so hacky. And the whole point of this is to do replication. Being able to replicate this setup to anywhere. So, with that done, let's go ahead and do a rebuild. Let's just go rebuild that Nix. Then we'll switch over to web, give it a whirl again. So if we go over to web, like do a git push, same crap. It's not able to see the GH line. That's what I figured would happen. So if we take another peek at this, so we have that. Still an issue. Created the upstream issue here. This is fixed right here. How they fix this? Yeah, the problem is it's referencing GH in the wrong spot. So how do they fix it? Kind of maddening. Yeah, the login works fine, and I saw the OAuth token that it's grabbing, so that all works great. The problem is it not seeing. So get credential helper, GH auth get. Okay. So how do you change the get credential helper to redirect it to the proper spot? This says get GH setup get. Let's try that. Feel like that might yield something for us. Can't be that simple, right? Yeah, it's that simple. Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. So we fixed the authentication, just GH auth setup. So you do your login, you can honestly set up Git and then do GH auth login, Home Manager. So if you're not using multi-user and you're just doing an auto login like I am on this system, what's the purpose of Home Manager? I see Home Manager is super cool and you can add a bunch of credentials, but why? Why even bother with Home Manager? You know what I'm saying? Dot file management. What do you mean? Like, I guess if you're doing custom dot files from a home, single lang to configure everything. So you could create your own .config files in like a home.nix configuration or something. Well, obviously, I'm just copying my home folder from distro to distro, so I already have all those configurations. For me, it's kind of pointless. But if you wanted to create those dot files on the fly, you would use Home Manager, right? I'm asking just as a general purpose of these things. I know a lot of people are like, hey, just try out Home Manager and Flakes, but I really want to get a good understanding of why you would use those things. So yeah, okay. Yeah, I appreciate it, Joe. Yeah, that's my thought process. So if you don't have any configuration in Home Manager, and let's say you wanted to create like a custom bash RC and have it go ahead and build that config file, you would go ahead and use Home Manager for that. That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. But if you don't, and you just want everything to be in one global config file, you can do that too. It's just, you're not gonna, I bet you could honestly put all those Nix things in there. I'm just got my mind going on how to replicate this system. The thing I kind of would like to do here for NixOS is if someone wanted to take my system and grab everything and build it on their system, the best way to do it with Nix would probably be like a Home Manager type situation, building out the file and then pushing it out that way with a custom config. So let's see. Now that gives me ideas. let's say you want to do like a bash, or this person's using ZSH, aren't they? So that's a presto. What about abbreviations? How is he doing his config for ZSH? Bash mount. What's his bash.nix look like? Ah, see, he's doing the auto jump. Remember, we were having problems with auto jump. Very interesting. So in this case, he's building this module for Home Manager to make the symbolic link in the environment for share bash completion, and making a history size option. Okay. I see why you do this. It's just I don't want to do it. I think that's the case of, okay, I get it. But I don't want to make all these modules for everything I'm doing for my home configuration. I just want to pull in what I already have. It's cool. Okay. Yeah, Nav. I think we need to update my NixOS configuration actually. Let's look at, now that we've got a good baseline, let's just come into Vim. Let's look at our configuration again. And I updated like Python and OpenSSL, allow unfree, Nix config allow unfree equals true. Let's see, what else do we have here? I'm gonna go ahead and leave Home Manager there. It's not really doing that much, to be honest with you. I do want to add that, just, hey, how to do GH. So let's add a little file to use gh auth setup -get. Otherwise, it will ask for username. All right. Let's write that out. So what this is doing is it's just adding the GH tool right here. Honestly, we could just add this under the system packages right here. It would accomplish the same thing, but good to know for the home user. Another thing, like if I was doing like a make install kind of thing, like we do when we're doing the overlay right here with DWM, we don't have access to a lot of these system packages where Home Manager might come into building like a, because normally you do like a Nix shell and say, I need these dependencies to build this package. So if, let's say you're a developer, you definitely want to be using Home Manager and be using home packages instead of just the environmental system packages, so you could build out your ideal dev environment. Because if I try to do like a make on my DWM, that's not going to work. I have to do it from the system, doing like a NixOS rebuild. I ran into that because I thought that was kind of an interesting thing, just to kind of showcase that. Let's oh, that's interesting. Nix.sh for bash. All right, well, anywho, let's say I have changes here for Nix, and I've changed like this configuration. If I wanted to do like a make, you think it would work, but you're going to run into dependency errors because it doesn't have access to all of the dev environment from the system packages. However, I think if we move a lot of, if you look over here, it's kind of behind chat here. Let me just take off chat. You can see I already have X11 and X11 dev, and the other one XFT and Zenorama. Those are dependencies to build DWM. As the user, I don't have access to those system packages for whatever reason. Home Manager might fix that as well. I think, honestly, if you're a developer, you're not going to be using NixOS. I mean, that would probably be a nightmare. I mean, maybe not. Maybe if you set up all your Home Manager just the way you wanted it with all the tools, maybe it wouldn't be bad, but I don't know. For as much as I tinker around, I'm kind of like, I don't know about that. Let's exit this. But I just kind of want to showcase that. So that works fine. We did a lot of other changes too on this upload to, one of the cool things was using the BBR congestion control and switching all that out so we have a little bit more responsive internet speeds and resolution, which is kind of cool. Does feel a little bit snappier, a little bit faster compared to a stock Linux instance. We got our system. This is the overlay where it's rebuilding DWM on a switch. The gaming Steam type deal, this right here, probably should be pushed into the Home Manager as well. XDG portal, our pull kit for our authentication of like gparted or something that requires root that's a graphic app. Kind of need it. We have our firewall disable, but we are using IPv6 and just some font packages down here, and then just forcing through 23.11. I think this is a pretty good config for now. Let's go into our GitHub and NixOS. Oh, we don't even have NixOS. Well, let's do a gh repo clone NixOS-Titus. And we're going to get into NixOS Titus. You can see the Configuration.nix and hardware configuration. Let's do a copy of etc NixOS. We'll just grab all that, drop it into this one. We're going to overwrite our current config and our hardware config. And you can see those changes. Let's do a lazy G, commit this to the world. Update for Nix 23.11. A brief exploration of Home Manager with this stream. I went ahead and pushed out. I've been waiting to actually update the project because I couldn't authenticate with Git, but now we can. Now we still have Flakes to mess around with too. That's one other thing. All right. So why do you use Flakes? That's the next thing. Let's do the basic from the high level. Monk or Joe or whoever's in chat here. What is the purpose of Flakes? We've kind of figured out Home Manager is great for home configuration building. So that's why you would do it. Like specifically like a bash RC would be a good instance of it. Obviously we're using GH in this instance for Home Manager. Now for Flakes, it builds some of the environment, right? I think Flakes just kind of goes from there. Flakes provides reproducibility by explicitly defining versions of each package, for instance. Okay, so instead of just grabbing the latest and greatest, sometimes that doesn't work very well. You would say, I need this version of like Python or this version of Hyperland or whatever it might be. VMV for, okay, that makes sense. And if you want to build a specific application, you do a development shell. That makes sense. So usually, like, let's say you needed the stuff to build DWM. I'll take that example from earlier. Let's just go over to DWM. And when I try to make, I don't have X11 functionality, then you just do like a Nix shell -p and say, well, let's grab the packages. Oh, geez, I don't remember what it is. I think it's like xorg.x11. Was that it? No, that wouldn't. What was those packages? Let's look at them just as an example, and you'll see the error change because we need, lib.x11. So lib x11, and then it would grab that. Except it was not a trusted user. So I need to add trusted user into here as well. But we can just sudo that as well. So let's say you can sudo, geez, what happened there? Yeah, so then it would get into here, and then if you do like a make, it'd be xft. That was another dependency. We have the x11 library, so you would add xorg.lib.xft now, and then you probably need xanorama. I think those are the only 3 dependencies for this. So let's exit this development shell. and pull up another one just to show people this works. Was it xft, lib xft, and then xorg dot Zinorama? Oh crap, what was that? I always just looked at it, but libx11, libx. Okay, got it. Got it for real this time. So then it would be lib.zinorama. Then we do a make, and it would make the properly with all the dependencies. So that's development shells. I get a good understanding of that now. We have a good understanding of system packages versus using Home Manager and doing locally packages, where like if you do a which git, you'll notice this is in the profile, or which gh, that's in the profile. But if we look at DWM, you notice that's in the current system because that's a system package. So git and gh tools were installed through Home Manager, where like DWM using that overlay and build was done through system packages. So that's the difference of where the binaries sit depending on which system you're using in NixOS. Flakes isolate particularly shell config. Okay. Basically locks all dependencies. Nix shell always pulls the latest version package. Okay. And we combine with the direct environment to have per project development environments. That makes sense. It's very intuitive. Like I said, it's a little bit to wrap your head around, but for a power user or someone that wants to reproduce a development environment, or say, hey, I absolutely have to have these packages with these versions, it makes sense to where you can always reproduce what you're doing. Where a lot of times in Linux land, what happens is like, hey, it works for me. I think that's the famous saying, like every developer's like, it works on my computer. And then the project manager's like, hey, well, we can't send out your computer to everybody. We kind of need this to work no matter what. That's where kind of Nix steps in, where you can specify the versions. It makes a lot of sense and very, very cool. Even though a little bit maddening coming from a traditional Linux distro. Yeah. I kind of wanted to revisit NixOS just because it felt like there was a lot left on the table last time I was here, specifically Home Manager, understanding Flakes, and those types of things. And I really kind of wanted to jump back into it just to look and drill down on some of these, and also update my project NixOS-Titus on my GitHub, because I know a lot of people are saying, well, that build's failing for me. And there was quite a bit of like old legacy stuff that's no longer relevant. Now that I moved it to 23.11, fixed a lot of the bugs. I think it would be a good starting point for folks, but I think combination with some of these streams would be another way to get past some of the initial headaches of Nix. However, I do look at this and I go, okay, what's the next distro we're going to install? Well, there is the, I don't know, I don't think I've ever covered it on my channel, but there is what is that project for emulation? It's like Wine, but it's like Wine for Mac. I can't remember exactly what it is. Oh, there's a Kickstart.nix. That's nice. Time to install Windows. Actually, I think if we look at, did we even look at what the reboot into Windows looks like? Because I got almost everything exactly how I want it. I mean, technically you can install Nix on WSL. And Mac, like I said, I can't remember. It's not Darwin. It's a compatibility layer for Mac programs running in Linux. It's not Homebrew either. Oh, yeah, no, this is my production setup. No, it kind of... It's not as bad as that though. Like I edit videos on an inside computer that really doesn't change very much. The other computer I have up here is what I use to stream all the time. That one really doesn't change very much either. But yeah, this is my main PC I usually just do my work on. So I do change up my distro and then work on the system, because I feel like if you just install like a VM or something, you never really get a good grasp of that distribution or that operating system until you're actually in it day in and day out. That's one thing that always drove me crazy about a lot of YouTube videos back in the day before I did YouTube, was a lot of them were just like distro reviews and go, look at this fresh coat of paint, but they never really dived in. It was just like a VM pop up and go, look, there's new icons, there's rounded edges on the windows. I'm like, well, okay, but what about the system? And you just don't get that with the VM. It's hard to look at that. Darling, that's what it is. Thanks, Tails. That's exactly what I was thinking for the Mac emulation or Mac compatibility layer. Darling. I know it's a pretty rough around the edges project, but still pretty cool. Yeah, old Rob, starting old YouTube it's 2018, and I did it because I was one of those guys. I was like, all these kids on YouTube, oh, they don't know anything. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm going to show them. And then I did like my first couple videos, and I was like, oh, here's something that I didn't know. Just because you know something doesn't mean you could put it on video and teach someone else how to do that thing. There's a skill gap there. And that's where I think a lot of like sysadmins and people that look at YouTube videos and go, I know how to do this. God, this YouTuber, he's so terrible. The YouTuber probably knows how to do it well. It's just there's that transition of explaining how to do the thing. That's the problem. And it requires a huge amount of skill to take what you know up here and put it into video format. That's a skill on its own. Just because you know something doesn't mean you can teach the thing that you know. You would think that's not a thing, but it is. Otherwise, I think everyone would just get on YouTube and put their knowledge set up there, which I wish they would. It's just a hard thing, which I learned the hard way, where I was like, oh, yeah, that's a thing. And I'm still getting better. I still think I'm a crappy teacher. So, yeah, no. I think just you just get better day in and day out just by getting the reps in, as with anything. Oh, thank you, Rob. Thank you. You are too, good sir. It's hard though. It's definitely hard, and I've grown to appreciate a lot of YouTubers where I think you go back 5-6 years before I did it, or before I tried teaching, I'd get on there, and you know, I definitely was guilty of that many times, going, oh gosh, this YouTuber knows nothing. I know more than that person. And then it's a different thing when you try to do it. Yeah, I learned by destroying things. That's so true. So true. Well, cool. All right, well, this is neat. We got Windows updates, guys. What do we got? Cumulative update. All right, well, this will take a couple hours. Let's install it. I wonder, do we even have WSL in this environment? That's something I am curious about, actually. Are you still using WSL, Rob? I'm curious on that. It says I have Ubuntu here. When was the last time I did a WSL setup? 22? Oh, that's not that far away. Let's do an update here as well. It's 273. I thought that would actually be way worse. What if we do it like a dist upgrade? Let's try and break WSL. Nala's not. I think it's modifying it. That's okay. Whatever. Are you using GH, Kamina? Like, I don't know about you, but using like the SSH agent is just terrible. Oh, use GH. It's gonna fix all your problems. That's what I use for all my authentication for doing GitHub CLI. Oh, because before you'd have to run like the SSH. Oh yeah, SSH agent is just awful. I remember the days of using that. But after I switched to GH and you just do GH auth login, you're done. Then you just do git push, git commit, git push, you're done. No longer are you running agents and all this other garbage. GH just kind of handles it all, and it is magical. I'm so happy that that's a thing. Oh, you use SSH with a private key? Yeah, no. So like GH, do I have GH here? GH not found. Ah, here we go. Here, I'll just do it on stream so I can demonstrate. So auth login. Go log in with a web browser. We'll hit enter, and oh, it's gonna cancel out because of that. But what you can do is click on this link and then give this one-time code into the browser, and then it would log into GH. Let me just do that real fast. We'll just do shift. Oh, Control click on Windows. Interesting. All right. Weird. So we'll authorize that. Oh gosh, all my two-factor stuff. Annoying, but security inconvenience. All right, there we go. So authentication complete, clear, logged in as Chris Titus Tech. So we'll clear this out. So now let's say I want to, let's just make a directory GitHub, cd GitHub. I don't have like an SSH agent or anything logged in here. I haven't done anything. All I did was just GH auth login after installing the GH package. And then let's just clone, let's go website. We'll just clone my website repo. And then it automatically authenticates and clones everything. And then when I change something, which let's just go into here, let's go website. Oh, I don't have my Vim config in here. Fail. Whatever. We'll just go Vim content post 2024 in NixOS Home Manager. All right. So from here, let's say I wanted to add something to it. Why Home Manager? We kind of touched on this a little bit. Home Manager is used to create config files in the home directory for a consistent user experience, something like that, right? So we do that, we write it out, and then if we go git status, you can see we have this modified file. So now I want to push it back to my repo. Really simple. We just do git commit -a, and yeah. I think I got to do a message too. Do I have lazy G? Oh, I don't have any of my freaking things. And I want to say if you run into like that, I think you just do git auth setup git, and then let's try to do that commit again. And then we'll do our message. Honestly, I could have done a message there. Add home manager text. Oh, geez, nano. Feel dirty doing a nano here, but whatever. So then we have our commit. So if we go git status again, now we have this one working thing that we need to push up. So we're ahead of it by one commit. So then we just do a git push, and it's all taken care of. So all of the authentication problems, SSH agents, everything can be handled by GH. So from here on out, it makes things way easier. That was the whole setup of Git and GH. I don't know, that probably took me a couple minutes. Honestly, if I had done it earlier, I probably would have been able to do it even faster, but it's just, oh man, it makes GitHub CLI just really, really that much better. And I have like aliases in like my PowerShell, so I do it in my PowerShell as well instead of my Linux instance. Oh, okay. Yeah, thanks Tails for the link in that. Yeah, so I mean, that's the cool thing. Yeah, the GPG agents and other things that you have to deal with. If you really understand like SSH agents and then doing GPG along with all of this, it's just those get very complex, and I feel like GH just makes it super simple. And that's why I always just use, like, I'm using GH in this environment as well. I'm gonna actually do an upgrade all while I'm thinking of it while I'm here. And let's just do upgrade all while we're doing our updates. Let's get everything. Oh, we're pinning restart on that. It's been a while since I updated my Windows environment, so I figured, hey, why not do it while I'm looking at chat here. Thoughts on the streamer in YouTube, Pirate Software? His shorts are letting him get a lot of viewers. I think that's awesome. Like, I think Primogen was the biggest streamer that I've seen in the tech sphere, and then Pirate Software dwarfs Primogen now. I think Pirate Software is streaming to like tens of thousands of people. I think he used to be a dev over at Blizzard, and I think that's awesome. I love seeing people succeed like that because you can learn from them. The whole reason why I started streaming because I saw Primogen succeed as a streamer, as a tech streamer, and I was like, oh hell yeah, that's cool. Well, I always wanted to stream, and that's why I was like, hey, let me do tech streams, and then maybe some game streams offline as well. I'm kind of mixing it up. I just kind of mainly do this for fun because I just enjoy it. But I love seeing people do that and be like a trailblazer and create something that I didn't know was possible. Because then I can go, oh, yoink, and just steal it. And steal a lot of the formatting. Now, obviously, I'm not trying to copy like either Primogen or Pirate Software. You all have your own special sauce, so to speak, but you can see what they're doing and kind of take little things from each person and make it your own and succeed in your own way because they already showed you it was possible, which is pretty awesome. So it's really neat to see Pirate Software because I think he's huge now. I think he's millions of subscribers on YouTube, and I want to say he's the biggest tech streamer on Twitch. Yeah, heck, I think he's one of the top. Heck, he might even be the top 50 streamers on this platform altogether, which is nuts. That's pretty darn cool. I prefer Pirate Software to make games over helping any army. Oh, an accidental Pirate Software clipception. Yeah, I think it's great. He has a great voice, good broadcaster, though. I think is super cool. And, you know, the funny thing about it is when you see a lot of these professionals like Pirate Software or the Primogen, a lot of them have day jobs. Most of them aren't YouTubers or streamers. They just are good at what they do and they just kind of share their knowledge. And it's cool that they do that because, frankly, most people don't want to deal with all the crap they get from this, like the public interaction. You know, most of everything I deal with is always fun, and it's always fun to have a lot of these interactions, but occasionally you'll get that one troll in chat or one troll in comment that just craps on you for sharing knowledge, and that never feels great. So it's really neat to see someone that doesn't really need to do this do it. I think it's cool. Being a top streamer, I don't know, I'm still pretty impressed by it. Do you still use Obsidian? Any advice? I don't use Obsidian. I loved it, TJ, but these days I kind of just notate everything down in like Markdown or text files using NeoVim. I'm terrible at taking notes, and I just embrace the fact I'm terrible at taking notes. So a lot of times I'm just like, I'll just toss that down in a text file and upload that to like Git or something like that and come back to it later. You know what? This is taking forever to install. Oh my posh, what is going on here? Okay. Hey, Thorium. I still got Thorium installed on this PC. It's updating to 119. Did you guys see the Thorium updates. Hey, Thorium is back. They've removed all the offending furry content, and he's updated to 119, so that's pretty good. So I think that's awesome. I thought Alex would just disappear after all that shenanigans, but it's good to see he's back to developing and updating the project. Did you hear about the Dutch girl who got fined for wearing fancy sneakers at a world championship speed chess? Ridiculous. I did see that, and it's hilarious how out of touch a lot of the traditional world is with where it's going. And you know, that girl could make so much more money and get so much more clout just by streaming on Twitch or making YouTube videos about chess, because she's obviously extremely good at what she does. So yeah, that's the thing. And I think a lot of people, once they let go of like the legacy, speaking of chess, like Magnus Carlsen has just said, you know what, classic chess kind of sucks, and I don't really like classic chess that much anymore. So I'm just going to let go of my world championship on classic chess. I just want to do blitz. And I already have more money than I know what to do with. So why would I bother with classic chess or getting the prestigious chess title? Even Carlsen, which is debatably probably the best chess player ever to live, is like, all this normal stuff, I don't really care about it. I'm just going to do what I like and play blitz games and blitz championships. I think that's cool. So I don't know. I think there's just some changes in the world that's happening. A lot of legacy stuff hadn't quite made its way out yet. Florp has been good too. That's what I've been actually on. It's a Firefox fork, and haven't run into too many problems. It's been pretty solid. I've run into more problems than I did with Thorium. I kind of want to get back to Thorium, to be honest with you. That sounds terrible to say out loud, but I don't know. It might happen. Cannot play anything longer than 5-minute chess. I don't know. I think I like 10-minute games, although if I'm streaming chess, probably 5-minute games. Otherwise, a lot of people don't want to just sit there and see you stare at the screen. I feel like it's a little bit better when you do that. Just use straight Firefox. I mean, you can. I'm not going to downplay that. Straight Firefox does work. I don't know. Just want to be different. Let's see. Man, with all this chess talk, I kind of want to load up chess. Let's see. Does Lee Chess work on this? Let's see. This is the best chess website. Oh, yeah, I'm already logged in. Let's do like a 5-minute game and see. It's been a little bit since I've played chess. Let's see how I'm doing. I'm only rated 1200 in this. Oh, okay. What do we want to do? Let's do like let's just troll. Let's see. We're going to do troll openings here. That'd be a lot of fun. This is such a weird opening, but whatever. Chess is always fun. I have such a blast at it. What's he gonna do here? Probably right there. Nah, he can't do it. I'll just take and then take. I mean, that's an option. I like it. Not that bad actually. If I take, he'll take here, which opens up this. Let's just drop back. You know, I still like chess.com's pieces, Peter. That's still one of my faves on that. Oh, man. I guess he's going to force me back. Where do I want to go here? Probably right here would be the best spot. And then he'll push this, which is fine. Oh, okay. I don't like this because he's going to come in here with that, and that's going to open me up to my queen. But I don't really have much of an option here. And then take, oh, okay. Smart. And then castle. I gotta get these pieces out though. This is looking rough. Yeah. Let's see. Just make sure I don't have like a discovery check or something. That would be terrible. Hmm. Oh, I don't really like this position at all, but I've seen worse. I still have this hanging piece over here. I pretty much have to take. We'll force a retreat there. We gotta get out of here. Okay. Yeah, that was a good move. He's gonna be coming down into here, which is fine for now. But I don't know why he didn't take the rook. Okay. Let's go. Feel like that guy's gonna come over here. And this is gonna be pressured. Heck, let's just get our knight out. So I'm thinking the whole reason for the knight was just to cover this square. And now he's pressuring there, which is fine. But we're gonna have problems. Bunch of problems. Yeah, let's take that. Cut off that. Oh, I missed the checkmate. No, I'm out of practice. I gotta tell you. Rough. All right. Well, that was fun. Well, all right. Well, I think it was a good exploratory stream of NixOS. We've updated our windows here at the end. I kind of wanted to just kind of come through here, get some of these environments updated that I haven't been using lately. And I think we're going to just go ahead and end it right here. Thursday, we'll probably do some more WinUtil work. I usually like to get at least one stream of WinUtil in a week. So Thursday, be looking for that. I know I'll probably be doing some Age of Empires 4 streams on the off days. Whenever that happens. I've been having a lot of fun with that. And even on my gaming channel, I've actually started making a couple YouTube videos over Age of Empires. I've had so much fun with it. So, yeah. Thank you guys for hanging out, exploring NixOS today with me. And, yeah. See you in the next one on Thursday, if not sooner. Heck, I've been having fun. Oh, also, I have been making more videos. I've actually made 3 YouTube videos for the main channel on Monday. And Titus Tech Talk, I've actually been rolling pretty good with on the dailies with just kind of breaking down these streams. So if you miss a stream, check out Titus Tech Talk. And then you'll be seeing a lot more videos on the other one too, which is pretty awesome. So, all right, guys, once this actually awkward silence, well, 1 second. I forgot. I don't have my synergy up. That was a terrible time to end the stream. Oh, well, I'm sure Windows Updates works. Peace.